I'm thinking he's ready. He's been through the trials and tribulations. He's the King Slayer, and he's got the power. He's been there before, so he was just there. He knocked the guy down, so he knows what he needs to do.
Lennox Lewis has stirred up the heavyweight boxing scene with a bold declaration ahead of the highly anticipated rematch between Oleksandr Usyk.
It's not an easy task, but he's definitely the man that can go through with it. He's done the work. He's gone through the pedigree, and he's a certified champion. So, I think he has big hopes on doing it. He's going to do it.
And Daniel Dubois. The legendary former Undisputed champion claimed that Dubois exposed Usyk's weakness in their first bout and is now coming to finish what the referee stopped. His comments have ignited even more excitement in the build-up to their July 19th clash at Wembley Stadium, a fight that will see all four major heavyweight belts on the line. Lewis didn't hold back, asserting that Usyk was given an unfair advantage in their first meeting in August 2023, when a controversial ruling.
It's definitely his place. He's at home. He's focused. He's determined. This is his dream. So, there's nothing stopping him.
You were there that night in September last year when he took on Anthony Joshua in front of 96,000 people. Were you shocked by what you saw that night?
Not shocked. I knew Daniel had it in him. The fact that he had the confidence to go out there, even the ring walk, I could tell was pretty solid going out there. And I was very happy for him when he won, because that shot came from right field and it met its target.
Turned the tide of the fight. According to him, Dubois should have walked away the winner that night. In their initial bout, Usyk came in as the unified champion, known for his tactical brilliance and undefeated record, while Dubois was still trying to establish himself among the elite. The fight took a dramatic turn in the fifth round when Dubois landed a body shot that dropped Usyk. While Dubois' team and many observers believed it was a legal punch, the referee ruled
that punch in the fifth round of the first fight 2 years ago. What did you think?
My eyes are not too good, but I would say that the ref let Oleksandr Usyk off in that punch. Gave him the benefit of the doubt.
And I guess that's part of his journey to this rematch. Since that loss to Oleksandr Usyk 2 years ago, the wins are Miller, Hrgović, Joshua. This is putting together quite an elite kind of resume at the moment, Lennox.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say. He's done the work. The work is fighting these guys and learning as he goes along and gaining the confidence as he did. So he's more confident going in there as a champion. He's not a young guy going in there. It's a guy that's been in there before. So he knows what it takes to win. So he just has to make sure he has a great plan, because he's going in there against a great warrior. And Oleksandr Usyk is a man that, he's study you. So if you throw like two punches, he's going to be throwing 4 punches. So, he's got to make sure that he rallies on his combinations, and he's got the power ready. So just focus on speed.
Ruled it a low blow. That decision allowed Usyk several minutes to recover, and by the 9th round, he regrouped and stopped Dubois, retaining his titles and silencing the controversy, at least temporarily. Since then, both men have taken very different but equally significant paths. Usyk solidified his legacy by defeating Tyson Fury not once, but twice, becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion in the four-belt era. However, to fulfill a rematch clause with Fury, Usyk vacated the IBF title, opening
the most famous fight yet against AJ. Was fear present in that moment?
No.
How can it not be? You're about to fight in front of 80,000 people against a celebrated heavyweight champion.
Yeah, well, it just wasn't. It wasn't in the equation, I'm not even overthinking it like that. It's not even like that for me. It's like, I've been doing this my whole life, so I'm not going to get too overworked up about it. It's just, it's like walking in a park, or, just don't overthink it. It's, if you like what your guys do, your jobs, you don't overthink it, you just do it.
A golden opportunity for Dubois. Dubois seized the moment, knocking out undefeated Filip Hrgović in June 2024 to claim the vacant IBF belt. He followed it up with a sensational fifth-round stoppage of former two-time world champion Anthony Joshua in September. These victories changed public perception dramatically. Once seen as inconsistent and mentally fragile, especially after his losses to Joe Joyce and Usyk, Dubois has reinvented himself.
I stand on, well, obviously he's seen a weakness in the first fight, so I believe that, you know, there's a weakness there, you got to attack it. And, you know, don't give him no shortcuts, you know, in this fight. You know, this fight's everything. And I know Daniel's a pretty determined, focused fighter, so he's going to be ready for this fight, and that he's going to go out there and he's going to want to win. He's just going to want to win because this is his dream.
Into a confident, dangerous contender. That transformation hasn't gone unnoticed. Lewis praised Dubois' recent form, calling him a king slayer who now has the tools, experience, and belief to dethrone Usyk. He also emphasized the importance of returning to the body, alluding to the controversial moment from their first fight. According to Lewis, Dubois now knows exactly where to target and how to follow through. Other big names in British boxing have also weighed in.
Dubois, what do you make of that fight, the rematch?
I think it's the best fight. I think they're the best two heavyweights in the world, and there was a bit of controversy with it last time, which goes with the grain in boxing, doesn't it? A bit of controversy, but no, I think Daniel's got a better chance than he had the first time. Yeah, what with the win off Joshua, that his confidence is massively up. Well, when he fought Usyk last time, he come off the defeat from Joyce, and you know, but now he's absolutely flying. He's got as good a chance, better chance than he had the first time around, I think.
Ricky Hatton echoed Lewis's sentiments, expressing confidence in the 26-year-old. He highlighted how Dubois' mental state was compromised during the first fight, coming off a loss to Joyce. Now, Hatton believes Dubois is on a roll and believes in himself, especially after the statement win over Joshua. Dillian White, another veteran of the division, took a more measured stance. He acknowledged Dubois' past inconsistency, but praised his current momentum.
I think it's a very good fight. It's a very good fight because they met before. Obviously, you just have to see, what Dubois turned up and what Usyk turned up. You know, obviously Usyk's very consistent. Usyk's very, very consistent. Dubois has been consistent, but he's had some inconsistency in his career as well. You know what I mean? Obviously the two ones that stick out is against Usyk and against Joe Joyce. You know what I mean? But obviously, you know, but Usyk has always been consistent. You know, this fights he's been hurt, fights he's been, you know, wobbled and stuff, and he's such a consistent professional. You know what I mean? But Dubois has got power and he's got confidence, and right now he's flying high at the minute, so it's hard to pick a winner right now.
He's in a great place mentally and physically, White said, adding that Usyk's history of getting hurt in fights gives Dubois a legitimate shot. He didn't pick a winner outright, but noted that the power and pressure Dubois now brings could cause problems for the Ukrainian technician. However, not everyone is convinced that Dubois can finish the job. Tony Bellew, who faced Usyk in 2018 and was stopped in that bout, still sees the Ukrainian as the division's top dog. Bellew praised Usyk.
Daniel Dubois, he challenged Usyk in the ring after the fight.
These guys are begging now for the payday because they know who the king is.
That's right.
And these guys need him. He doesn't need them. No. Oleksandr Usyk can choose to fight whoever he wants. He is now the draw in the heavyweight division. He is the big name. Yeah. And I take my hat off to Anthony Joshua and I take my hat off to Tyson Fury because they had the cojones to face him, as did Daniel Dubois. But let's not get away from anything. Daniel Dubois fought him once and we've seen how that fight went. Yeah. Everyone goes on about a shot. Let's just be brutally honest, it hit the protector. Why is it called a protector? Because it protects you from certain shots. Was it like, did anyone look at the belt line of Tyson Fury before the fight?
It was high, wasn't it? Yeah, really
I mean,
high.
I was going to ask what's the neck on them shorts.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It was nuts. But no one said anything.
No.
But then ultimately when Oleksandr Usyk fights Daniel Dubois and his shorts are on his navel and you can clearly see his belly button at times in the fight, No one said all of a sudden is short to high. So it's whatever suits people's narrative and agendas at the time. For people who are Fury fans, they want to say Usyk's done this or he's robbed that. For people who are Dubois fans, just look at the cold, hard facts. He hits him on the protector. The protector's called the protector for a reason. And then ultimately, look at how the fight ended up. I mean, he had enough.
On his knees, wasn't he? By the end, on one knee.
Usyk's intelligence, discipline, and ring generalship, arguing that those traits make him nearly unbeatable. While he acknowledged Dubois' improvements, Belleau questioned whether the Brit could handle the pressure on such a massive stage. Let's not forget, he reminded fans, Usyk already made him quit once. Karl Froch, a former world champion himself, also weighed in on the rematch. He agreed that Dubois is now a completely different fighter, physically and mentally.
So, as I mentioned at the start, I'm here for the rematch for Oleksandr Usyk, Daniel Dubois, second time. The first time they fought, Dubois got stopped with a heavy, stiff-looking jab from the southpaw position, and people questioned his desire and heart for the game, saying that he kind of quit. I mean, he did get dropped with a right hand, and he did just stand up in time, like 9 seconds, and the referee waved it off. But he had a really good fight. He really did give Usyk something to think about. He hit him with that low blow. It was borderline. It wasn't straight in the crown jewels, but it was a low blow, and the referee declared it no knockdown. And a big fuss and song and dance was made about it being a low blow. Frank Warren made a big deal about it, and fair enough. I mean, Dubois put Usyk on the floor, and it was borderline. And you've probably seen everything. It was ruled a low blow, so it didn't go in Daniel Dubois' favour. Usyk got 4 or 5 minutes to recover, climbed off the floor, and then ended up stopping Daniel Dubois with a solid right hand. I think it was round 9. And yeah, won the fight, defended his titles. But this is the rematch, and Dubois is a different animal. He's a better fighter now. He's had some great wins against Gerald Miller, Hrgovic. He absolutely splattered Anthony Joshua. We've seen that fight, and he's now full of confidence. He's on the crest of a wave, and he's a guy now getting into the ring really, really solidly, believing in himself. He's like a new fighter. He's now IBF world champion. He's not beaten the champ to get the title.
Froch credited the knockout win over Joshua as a turning point in Dubois' self-belief. However, despite praising Dubois' resurgence, Froch ultimately sided with Usyk to win again. It's not about doubting Dubois, Froch said. It's just incredibly hard to beat someone with Usyk's skill set, discipline, and experience. As the rematch draws near, the stakes couldn't be higher. Usyk, though no longer holding...
I think Dubois will win. That's my early prediction. I know a lot of people will obviously fancy Usyk, and rightfully so. And as much as I like Dubois and think he's getting better and all the rest of it, I'd like to see Usyk win. I think Usyk's a great fella and a great fighter, but I think Dubois will win.
The IBF belt remains widely considered the best heavyweight of the era. Meanwhile, Dubois now holds a belt of his own, boasts 2 huge wins under his belt, and is on a mission to prove he was robbed the first time around. With voices like Lewis and Hatton backing Dubois, and others like Belleau and Froch standing by Usyk, the boxing world is split, and that only adds fuel to an already blazing fire. July 19th.
I saw something about Usyk saying that he thought Conor Benn won the fight. I don't know if this is true. I can't imagine that he watched that fight and thought that Conor Benn won, because it's just, I landed twice as many punches. But people are telling me it's true. If that's the truth, then I'm low-key rooting for Dubois.
Team Dubois, absolutely.
Because that's crazy. That's really crazy to me. And I've met Usyk a bunch of times, and we've always been cool, so I was kind of shocked to see that.
Promises to be a defining night for both men, with legacy, redemption, and heavyweight supremacy hanging in the balance at Wembley Stadium. As the heavyweight world counts down to the blockbuster rematch between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois on July 19th at Wembley Stadium, opinions across the boxing landscape remain deeply divided. While many fans and pundits lean toward the seasoned brilliance of Usyk, others are giving serious consideration.
It's a good fighter. It's a boxer. Listen, I respect all who boxing in gym, because I know it's very hard. I respect all my opponent. Daniel too,
including him.
Yeah.
To Dubois, a fighter once dismissed, but now roaring back into contention with stunning wins and surging momentum. One of the more unique perspectives came from British heavyweight Dave Allen, who has sparred with both men. Allen, who once endured a punishing session with Usyk, acknowledged the Ukrainian's class and professionalism, but still leaned toward...
Does he have to knock Usyk out to win this fight? And is he walking in against the same Usyk, given the fact that Usyk's been in 2 battles with Tyson Fury?
Yeah, you're not going to win a boxing match against Usyk.
It's got to knock him out.
I think let's all agree on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's...
Yeah. The same thing when we went to Poland. We're not going to outbox Usyk and win on points. The same thing applies to this this fight, upcoming fight. Yeah, by any means necessary. But if it happens to go points, Usyk won't be in a good state to. We will win, but the
Dubois. His view wasn't based on hype or headlines, but on first-hand experience and what he's seen recently. According to Allen, Dubois' current form, self-belief, and devastating power give him the edge this time around. Chris Eubank Jr. also threw his support behind Dubois, though his reasons were more personal than technical. While national pride played a role, Eubank admitted his stance was partly influenced by comments Usyk allegedly made regarding Eubank's controversial clash with Conor Benn. Usyk was reported to have suggested Benn deserved the win, a claim Eubank strongly disagreed with. Although the two had enjoyed a friendly...
Sitting back in the background saying, I've been boxing all these fights and, I want respect. And by beating Anthony Joshua, he'll get that respect because he's a quiet guy, doesn't say too much, but you can tell there's a lot of things on his mind. And being a heavyweight champion is what was always on his mind. And even the fact that, he got presented the belt, he wants to prove himself in the ring and go in there and say, yeah, I deserve to keep this belt.
Relationship in the past, Eubank said the remark caught him off guard and ultimately nudged him toward backing Dubois. Predictions for the rematch are split across the boxing world. Some legends, including Julio Cesar Chavez and Marco Antonio Barrera, have publicly sided with Usyk, citing his unmatched ring IQ, unbeaten record, and consistency at the highest level. However, others, including Lennox Lewis and Dave Allen, believe Dubois has evolved into a true force, one who now has the skills and mindset to spring an upset. Voices like Ricky Hatton, Dillian White, and Carl Frosch offer more nuanced takes. Hatton emphasized how much Dubois has matured since their first encounter, while White noted that although Dubois was once seen as mentally vulnerable, he now seems to be in peak form both physically and psychologically. Froch acknowledged the transformation too, especially after Dubois' stunning knockout victories over Filip Hrgović and Anthony Joshua. Still, he and others remain cautious, mindful of Usyk's unmatched discipline and tactical brilliance. Adding further intrigue is the lingering controversy from their first fight in August 2023. In the 5th round, Dubois landed a body shot that dropped Usyk, a moment his camp insists should have ended the fight. However, it was ruled a low blow, giving Usyk extended recovery time. He later stopped Dubois in the 9th round. The incident remains a point of contention, especially after Lennox Lewis reignited the debate, claiming the referee gave Usyk a shortcut to victory. With tensions high, fans and analysts alike will be watching officiating closely this time. Dubois enters this rematch not just with a belt, but with renewed belief. From being written off after his loss to Joe Joyce to now standing on the brink of becoming undisputed heavyweight champion, his redemption arc has been remarkable. Questions about his resilience, particularly after the Usyk loss, have been answered emphatically over the past year. Usyk, meanwhile, is chasing a legacy-defining milestone, becoming the first 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion in the four-belt era. Already having beaten the best of his generation, including Joshua and Fury twice each, his resume speaks for itself. His ability to adapt and control fights has made him nearly unbeatable. What sets this rematch apart is that it's no longer a green Dubois facing an experienced Usyk. Now it's two reigning champions with something to prove. Dubois wants to cement his place at the top. Usyk wants to show that no one, not even a surging knockout artist, can dethrone him. On July 19th, under the lights at Wembley, preparation, execution, and heart will decide it all. Whether Usyk continues his historic reign or Dubois completes one of boxing's greatest comebacks, fans are in for an unforgettable night.